little bit. I can introduce Mataji with to the devotees. His Grace Nalini Mataji, Her Grace Nalini Mataji is a very dear disciple of Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, and she has really served Maharaj a lot. And whenever Maharaj used to visit London, England, Maharaj Gaur Govinda Swami Srila Gurudev used to stay at her residence, her place, and she has made a full her first floor. I think I never been there, but I have heard that the first floor is reserved for Gurudev, and it's still there. Gurudev is still staying there. We have the video Mataji have kindly shared with us. So we will show this video here also, maybe after the glorification, and the devotees can see that. And then also we all know about Saranagati Bhavan Ashram in Mayapur. That is also gifted by Mataji, and she has really served Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj Gurudev a lot. And we are very fortunate that today we have the fortune to hear from her. So, Mataji, yes, you can tell us like how you get attracted to Gurudev, your first meet with him, and then uh, whatever you recall about amazing personality of Gurudev.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to speak on Gurudev, about Gurudev. And Priya, I was hoping Priya would be here to also join because she's also been on that journey with me. And this is good. Oh, you can see Gurudev in the background there. This is Gurudev's house. You say Gurudev's room is upstairs, but it's his house. This is how. Can you see him? Can you see him?
Yes, Mother.
Yes, we can see. Yes.
So Gurudev,
Gurudev
that
is
chair,
sitting.
Gurudev used to sit on that chair.
Okay.
And so we kept that chair. So this is downstairs. So it's Gurudev's house. He's not only upstairs, he's everywhere.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Jai Shri Gurudev. Namo Vishnu Pataya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Govinda Swanti Namade Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasivi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so I met Gurudev in 1992. I was going to India for the first time, and I had only been in ISKCON maybe a year or so, and I was going to a conference in Chandigarh, in what is it, Rajasthan. And then the devotees from the manor, they were organizing, usually at Gopanim time, they organize a trip to Mayapur and Vrindavan for a few weeks, couple of weeks, I think. And so I tried to jump in on that and join with them as well as going to this conference in Chandigarh. So it was my first trip to India. And I went on that day. When I arrived in India at Kolkata, we went straight to Mayapur. And as you know, in those days, 1992, February, everybody had to queue up and wait to get a room so that you would have like a what do you call it, like a large room where everybody would sleep on the floor on a mattress or something. And so we joined with them because that's how they didn't have many guest houses and many provisions. So we had to do like that. And finally, after we got into a room, and I don't remember if we had prasad or whatever, but we got there, and we were lying down, and then one Mataji, she said, please remind me, she was speaking to everyone, please remind me that at 7 o'clock tonight, there is a talk by Govinda Swami in his room, darshan. He's going to be giving darshan tonight at 7 o'clock or 7:30. I want to go there. So I said to her, oh, can we come with you? Because I don't know Mayapur, I don't know India, I don't know anything. I said, oh, can I come with you? And she said, yes, sure. So at that time, when she was going to see Gurudev in his room for darshan, so he was given a talk, and many devotees would come. I accompanied her, myself and Priya. And so when I got there, I had heard of him from one of his disciples, and I'd seen him at a manor, but not to give talk or talk, not when he was giving a class or preaching or anything. I just saw him pass by, and somebody said that my Gurudev. So that's we knew him just by just passing by, and we are told that is my guru. That's all. Well, we didn't know anything more about him. So I just felt very much in awe of him when he started to speak. I didn't know much about Krishna consciousness, and I didn't understand. He was speaking Radha Krishna Lila. I didn't understand fully what he was saying, but I just couldn't stop taking photos of him. I must have used up the whole roll of film, just snapping him constantly, and as if I wanted to capture him. I just felt very endeared to him, and was really totally taken in by his whole personality, his aura, everything that he represented was just out, completely spiritual. I'd never experienced something like that. I'd been going to the manor regularly for a year or two before, and I didn't have that feeling, that spiritual kind of atmosphere feeling. So I waited till the end of the class, and then everybody was leaving, so we also left, and it was near 9 o'clock. So we thought we better rush to the restaurant because it's going to close and we need to take prasad. So, we we were walking across the lawn. Gurudev was at the 4th floor of the conch building. So we came down and we were walking across the lawn to go to the restaurant. If you know where the restaurant is, it's where Govinda's used to be. It was there anyway. Now it's not there. And while we were going there, we met Noor Hari Prabhu, who I'd known from Mana. I didn't know him personally, but I'd seen him at the Mana singing and doing kirtan on a Sunday afternoon when we visited. So then I said, oh, is that your guru? And he said, yes. And I said, oh, wow, he's amazing. And he said, why don't you come and meet him? I said, oh, no, thank you, Prabhu. No, he's far too great personality for me to come and meet. I just feel too embarrassed, before now, I was never afraid to, I was not afraid to speak about anything to anyone, but now in his presence, I felt really totally inadequate. Really, I don't feel like I have what it takes to meet somebody of his stature. I just couldn't do it. So he was preaching to me about the whole thing, that in Gita, Krishna arranges you to meet Guru and everything. And he Noor Hari was not giving up, but I was not giving up either. I said, no, I'm sorry, Prabhu. I'm really sorry. I'm really embarrassed to go and meet such a great personality. So he went away, and I continued walking towards the restaurant. And then 5 minutes later, I heard him calling at us back again. Mataji. And I said, turned around and it was him. And I said, oh, Guru Haribol. He said, I told Guru Dev that I met you from England and that you came to his class and you were very impressed with his class, but you didn't want to come to meet him. And he said, Guru Dev said, tell her to come. So I said, oh no, Prabhu, please, no, I can't go. He said, yes, Gurudev is asking, telling you, inviting you to come and meet with him. Why you don't want to come and meet with Gurudev? And again, he's repeating about, Krishna arranges for you to meet Guru, and he's quoting verses from Bhagavad Gita to me and everything. And so I remember all these things because I was attending the classes regularly and reading Bhagavad Gita. So I said, okay, finally, I'll come with you, but please, can you sit with me? Because I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to speak to this great personality. So he came with me back up to the room, and me and Priya sat in front on the floor. Gurudev was sitting on his bed with his feet down on the floor, and we sat by him. And then he just asked me, what you're doing in India, where are you going, what's going on. So I said to him, I came here, and then I'm going to Delhi, and then I'm going to Chandigarh to a conference, and then I'm coming back, and then I'm going to Jaipur also, and then I'm coming back, and I'm going to Vrindavan. And so I will be 1 week in Mayapur, and then in 1 week for the conference in Chandigarh, and then 1 week in Vrindavan for Gopani. And he says to me, cancel it and come to Bhubaneswar. I look at the devotees, a few devotees, Atmaram Prabhu and Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu and a few others. And Noor Hari, by the way, left my side. He never, as he promised, stayed by me. And I'm looking at the devotees like, what's Bhubaneswar? Where is Bhubaneswar? I never heard of Bhubaneswar. So I'm not saying no, I can't come, but I know that I've got 5 flights booked to go to Jaipur, to go to Delhi, to go to Chandigarh, and back again to Delhi, then to go to Vrindavan, then come back, and then back to London. So my schedule was very fixed and tight. I couldn't do any of that. So he told Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, you write her a letter to go and stay in the guest house in Bhubaneswar when she goes there. So Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu wrote me a letter and said, go to for me and Priya to stay in the guest house there, VIP guest house, not just a guest house. And so I took the letter with me, pay my obeisances, and maybe he asked me a few more questions, and so that was it. And I thought, oh well, I need to stay in Mayapur for the week, so I wouldn't have time to go to Bhubaneswar. Anyway, do you understand what I'm saying so far?
Yes,
Hello?
Mataji. Yes. We are understanding. It's
It
quite
it feels
interesting.
it feels funny just talking
Yes.
without anybody else talking.
No, we are all listening. We are all listening eagerly. Yes.
Anyway, Gurudev has, as I later found out, has his way of making things happen for our benefit. So he obviously knew this woman is enjoying life too much in Maya. She's never going to surrender. She thinks, material enjoyment is great. And so I paid my respect to him. I heard what he had to say. I took the letter, but I had no intention of going to Bhubaneswar. I never even heard of Bhubaneswar or Orissa. And I had all my tickets, 5 flights booked and planned and everything. Anyway, a day later, one girl that I met at the temple here in London, she said to me, let's go to Puri. And I said, when you want to go to Puri? She said, tomorrow. we're going to Puri tomorrow morning. I said, well, no, I can't go because I want to stay here. I want to stay in Mayapur and I want to listen to Govinda Maharaj's lectures that he's given up in his room for the week. I like his lectures, so I don't understand anything, but I like to listen to him. So I want to stay here. And she just pleaded and pleaded and pleaded. And without even asking me, she got her brother to book us 3 tickets to go on the train to Puri. So reluctantly, I went with her. And looking back, I think, it's all Gurudev's arrangement. Somehow, when we were on the train going to Puri, I saw Bhubaneswar station. We had to stop there. So I said, oh, this is the Bhubaneswar that Maharaj is talking about. So then we went on to Puri, and then I thought to myself, well, maybe when we come back, we can stop in Bhubaneswar, because he was telling us, come to Bhubaneswar, so maybe I could stop and see where that temple is and what's happening there. So somehow we just felt like it was swept, without actually having anything to do with this planning. The arrangements just seemed to happen without my planning. My plan was just to do what I had booked for. That just went out the window. And anyway, we stopped at Bhubaneswar and we took a taxi and we went to the temple and we showed a letter to the temple commander, and he gave us a room. And we were treated so nicely, so nicely, so nicely. Such a beautiful temple, even though it wasn't completed. Downstairs was still under construction. There was, no restaurant or anything there. And it was just amazing, the whole feverish kind of atmosphere of them glorifying Gurudev was amazing. I mean, like, it was out of this world. It was like, now thinking back, it was like being in Vaikuntha. It was just like electrifying, their feverish speaking about Gurudev, glorifying Gurudev. Everything they did was like, like they say in Vaikuntha, every word is a song, every step is a dance. It was like that with them. You couldn't help getting contaminated by their mood. And then Gurudev was coming back in a few days' time. So they started to plan for Gurudev coming back. And on the day Gurudev was coming, it was high pitch ecstasy and emotion, making garlands, making this, making that. And we got caught up in all that. And then we went with them to the airport, so many garlands and so exciting. I mean, so exciting. Gurudev is coming. And we joined in that. We're all so excited. Gurudev is coming. And so we went and everybody gave the garlands to Gurudev. Wish, move back a bit so you can see Gurudev. And so we went there and everybody giving the garlands to Gurudev. And then we came back, and Gurudev usually, as you all know, he gives a talk about Mayapur. So he came in the incomplete building site under the temple there, that is now the restaurant. He sat there and he was talking about his trip to Mayapur. And then he saw me and Priya, and he just pointed to us and he said, so you're here now. And I'm thinking, well, how did he even remember us? He just saw us for a few seconds in Mayapur, in his darshan at the end when we saw him. But yes, he recognized us. He said, oh, pointed his sticker at us and he said, oh, so you're here now. And then he was giving out, some sweets, and he gave us all out sweets. So that's how I met Gurudev and how I got to Bhubaneswar. And then we stayed there. Instead of Mayapur, we stayed there and then went to Chandigarh. So while I was staying there, I would go to his classes in the morning, obviously. And I noticed that I was getting really, really attracted more and more to his classes. So, but the lady sitting at the back could not hear. So I had a little tape recorder. I wanted to tape his classes. So I would inch up more and more and more and more towards the brahmacharis because I wanted to hear. And the more I was going, the more I couldn't hear. So I kept going until I was almost parallel with the brahmachari sitting there and putting my tape recorder to capture his class. Now they have speakers at the back as well, so the Matajis can listen. And then when I was leaving, the devotees asked me, do you want to speak to Gurudev? And I said, okay. He was sitting outside his hut by himself. And they said, do you want to speak to Gurudev? I said, yeah. Okay. So I went, me and Priya went there and started to speak with him. He was sitting on his chair, the usual chair. And then he asked me some more questions about myself. And then he said to me, are you initiated? And I said, no. He goes, oh, you should be initiated. He said it like 3 times. You should be initiated. You should be initiated. You should be initiated. So then I said to him, I don't even know who Guru is. I don't even know what I'm saying. I said to him, oh, will you initiate me and Priya? And then he said straight away, yes, but that I should write to him. And I have to wait 6 months. And I have to get a letter from the authorities in England. And then he would initiate me. And I was just so amazed. I just thought, wow, Jai, oh, I want to be like these devotees who are so ecstatic and really taken so much, exhibiting so much bliss and happiness being around Gurudev. And I was feeling like that also. I had never felt like that. I felt like he's my guru, but I don't even know who guru is, what it involves. But anyway, I really like him. So that was my first encounter with Gurudev.
Yes, Mataji, this is really mercy that when he first met you, he just asked you to cancel all your appointments, all your
Yes.
plan. This kind of mercy never comes to everyone. It's mercy forcefully given, isn't it?
Yes, but I don't understand, how, well, obviously he knows something about us and what's going on. I don't know. I could not understand how he said that because the devotees were saying Gurudev doesn't speak to women. Sometimes the ladies come and they're sitting outside for 2 weeks asking to speak with Gurudev, and Gurudev was not speaking. This is when Nur Hari was chastising me when I didn't want to come. And Gurudev's asking to speak to you, and he's telling you to come, and it's like 9 o'clock, gone 9 o'clock, nearly in the night, and you're saying no. So it's difficult. I don't know. I still can't understand why.
It's mercy given, forcefully given mercy.
Causeless.
So that's really nice, Mataji. And then you started coming to Bhubaneswar, and tell us something when Gurudev, you used to visit London, England at
Oh,
that time.
yes. Okay. So, well, Gurudev, um, when I came back to London, so then actually I went to Jaipur. I have to say this. I went to Jaipur. When I went to Jaipur, there was a professor called Professor Singhi in Jaipur. He was the one who invited us to come to this seminar in Chandigarh. And when I got to Jaipur, I said to him, but I don't want to go to this seminar anymore. And he said, well, what will you do? I said, I'll just go to Vrindavan. He said, you come all this way, especially for this conference, and now you don't want to go to the conference. I said, no. And he goes, well, what are you going to go do in Vrindavan? You're going to go take sannyas. I said, maybe. So Gurudev had that powerful impact. Imagine, they say you moments meeting with a pure devotee, changes your life. And it was just amazing that I had come especially for this, and ISKCON and going to Mayapur and going to Vrindavan was just like a side thing. It just corresponded with my visit. And now, after a couple of days, I was prepared to give the whole thing up. Like Guru said to me, cancel it and go. And I was ready to just surrender. And I was just surprised. But anyway, Professor Singhi will not have it. He kept saying, look, this thing was arranged already. You need to go. You can't come out now. They pay for your flight and they pay for your accommodation and for your food and everything. You have to go. So reluctantly, I went to the conference, but I wasn't really happy to go. So then when I came back to London, I was so excitedly telling everybody about how I met Gurudev. And then one Mataji there, she said, oh, I can introduce you to some of his disciples. So she introduced me to Gurudev's disciples. London is also a few there, Krishnananda and his Vanshubhashini and a few other devotees, Akinchan and his wife and so on. And so I met them because I used to go only to the manor once on a Sunday. And then I wrote to Gurudev when I came back and I said to him, I was so happy to meet you. And when you come to London, please come and visit and give class and take prasad. And then he replied and said he was coming. He always replied, Gurudev always replied to every single letter I wrote him, immediately almost. And he said, yes, I will see you at one of the temples when I come to London. He didn't say, yes, he will come here. But when I found out what his schedule was, I booked him in for a Friday evening when he would be here in the manor. And then I'm hoping that I requested and I'm hoping that he would come. So I planned that. And then when he came, the devotees, Gurudev said, yes, he would go to Nalini's house my name was also Nalini then. He didn't change it. And then he said, I will go to Nalini's house. And then they said, but Gurudev, there's two other requests that you have already. One is some millionaire who had requested to have Gurudev go to visit him, and also the vice president of the Mana Temple wanted Gurudev. And there was no other dates that Gurudev could fit in, so they wanted Gurudev to go either one of those two. So Gurudev would not cancel me, so they phoned me for me to cancel Gurudev. They phoned me and said to me, Gurudev had two other appointments that he has to go to. So could you please cancel Gurudev so he can go to these appointments? So I said, no, if Gurudev wants, he can cancel. But I can't cancel Gurudev. How can I cancel Gurudev? I already invited him and he accepted. So how am I going to cancel him? So they were really quite annoyed with me because the thing is, they hardly knew me. I was working outside. I was not a temple product. I was not behaving like a temple person, where you know your place with Gurudev. Women do not go near gurus and sannyasi. They keep 1 mile away and they be quiet and they cover their head and they just don't speak. But I was on my own. If I want to get any relationship with Gurudev, I had to be the one who would speak with him. And he had to speak with me. So anyway, so Gurudev was determined that he was coming. So he came. He came. For the first time, he came that night and gave a beautiful class, Chaitanya Charitamrita class. I have the videos. I don't know why they haven't put the videos out in Bhubaneswar. And some of his disciples, Pushparaksha Prabhu came, and Nimai Pandit, Dor Hari, quite a few of his devotees, disciples came. And then he stayed in London and we visited wherever he was going. He didn't stay here that night, but the next time when he came, he stayed just for lunch and rested for the whole afternoon and then left. And then he was going around wherever he was going, we would take time off and follow him. And then I think it was 94, he 93, he came as well, we followed him. And in 94, I decided that I was going to take initiation. And I went to the temple president, got a letter of recommendation from the manor. In those days, they just know you by you being around there, doing some service and stuff. So the temple president gave me a really nice letter, which I was surprised by. And then I went to India, and as you know, when you go there, first thing you do is going to see Gurudev. So I went in to see Gurudev with this letter, and I said to him, Gurudev, I've come to take initiation. Here's my recommendation letter. Would you please initiate me? And he laughed and he laughed and he laughed. And he said, we just did initiation. We don't do initiation again. We do initiation Nityananda Trayodasi and Janmastami. We don't do initiation on Gopanim. So I said, oh, so he was just laughing at me and I was just laughing back. And I said, oh, okay, then maybe next time. He said, okay. So then I talked to him for a while about how things were with him and everything and what was going on with us as well. And then he said to me, as I was paying my obeisance to leave, he said, tell Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, go to the office and tell Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu to arrange your initiation on Gopanim. And I was just so shocked and surprised. I thought, oh no, I'm shocked, surprised, and embarrassed. So I said, okay. And then as I was walking towards to go to the office to tell Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, Gurudev said, arrange my initiation. Gurudev already phoned Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu and told him to arrange it, because I guess he probably thought they're not going to believe me. So as I walked into the office and I paid my visitors and told Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, he goes, yes, Gurudev just phoned me. So my initiation was arranged for Gopanim, and Gurudev was giving Gopanim classes the whole week, as he usually does, not just on Gopanim days. So we didn't really miss out on not having a lecture on Gopanim. So I got initiated on Gopanim. And then Gurudev came to London. By the way, after initiation, you feel really quite different, really, really different. I was just a sense enjoyer, enjoying my karmi way of life and all sense enjoyments to go with it, and doing my own thing independently. And then suddenly, you feel completely different, surrendering to Gurudev. And so Gurudev, he said, when I bowed down to him and got up, and then he gave me the beat and he said, your name is Nalini Devi Dasi. And everybody clapped, but they were shocked as well. So afterwards, I'm walking around, you collect Dakshi to give the Guru. And everybody said, why Gurudev not change your name? Everybody really surprised. I said, I don't know. So when I went in to see Gurudev, I said to him, Gurudev, everybody wants to know why you didn't change my name. And he said, well, it's such a nice name. It's a gopi and it means lotus. So why I would change it? I just added Devi Dasi. So I said, oh, okay, Gurudev. And I was feeling happy because Nalini was not my book name. My biological father had given me that name in addition to my book name. And now my spiritual father had given me that name again. So I was really quite happy that I didn't have to change my name on my passport or anything. I could just have the name. And then he told his servant to give me a garland he had hanging there. That was just after my initiation. And then the servant, he told, tell the servant to give it to Priya, give it to me. So it was a really happy, nice, wonderful initiation. And then I came back to London and I wrote to Gurudev. As usual, I write to him all the time and he would write back. I would phone him as well and talk to him. And when he came in 94, we were touring with him around London. I was cooking for him at Manor and everywhere. And here also, he come for lunch. And then we went to Birmingham. And then he said, at the end of the Birmingham trip, he was going up more and more further north. So I thought, oh, well, I've got prayer, I've got work. I'm not like one of the lads. I can't follow Gurudev anymore. I'm just going to go back to London. So I told him, I said, when he got into his Jeep to go off for the evening, I said, Gurudev, I'm going back to London now. And he was really, 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 really angry, so angry. And he goes, go, go, get out, go to London. I was so shocked. I couldn't believe that Gurudev was being so inconsiderate of my situation. Anyway, I was driving back to London with Priya, and I was completely quiet, so quiet. We were both very, very quiet. And then all of a sudden, after about an hour, she said to me in the car, Mom, Gurudev was very angry with you. I wouldn't answer. I don't know what to say because I can't be angry with Gurudev. He's my guru. I can't be angry with him, but I don't know what to say. So I came back and I was doing arti and I prayed to Thai because we had by now acquired Thai. The first trip, we were in Vrindavan. Priya picked up Thai from Loy Bazaar and brought them to the rickshaw and wouldn't let go of them. So we somehow acquired Thai. And I was doing arti to Thai and I was praying to them. I said, Thai, I cannot be angry with my Gurudev, but I'm feeling upset because he shouted at me in front of everyone. And I feel upset, but I don't want to be upset with Gurudev. I don't want to be angry with my Gurudev. He's upset and angry with me. And then the next thing I know is the next morning when I woke up, I just felt that I should go into work and I should tell them that I need some time off and take time off. I had only just started that new job as well. I should take the time off and I should go traveling with Gurudev to Europe. So that's what I did. I went into work. I didn't expect them to give it to me, but as soon as I said, do you mind if I take a couple of weeks off? They said, no. I was shocked. So 2 or 3 weeks off, I took on, I just phoned Priya and said to her, pack some bags. We're going tomorrow morning. We're going to go to Italy or wherever Gurudev was, pick up from where he is and travel with him. So that's what we did. When Gurudev saw us, he was making jokes about us, but not looking at us. He said, he's giving darshan in his room, and he said, some people, they said, Gurudev, Dandavat Kripa Karo, Gurudev, Dandavat Kripa Karo, but when Gurudev comes, they have to go to work. So me and Priya just, nudging each other because we know he's actually talking about us, we don't want to, Gurudev is coming to give the blessing and the mercy all the way transatlantic, and we don't want to take it. So that's how I end up, and thank God for those couple of years, 94, 95, I traveled with Gurudev in Europe, and it was just so blissful. Every temple we went to, something happened to the person who was supposed to be cooking for Gurudev. Every temple, and I had to end up be cooking for Gurudev. And it was just amazing because Madhavananda was on that trip, and he will probably mention that everywhere we went, that something happened that we had to just cook for Gurudev. There was nobody else to cook for Gurudev. I had to end up doing it. And then, there's lots of little stories going along there, but I don't want to be speaking. Maybe somebody wants to say something.
We are hearing Nectar Mataji. It's Gurudev's Katha.
It's just strange talking. I don't know what I'm talking. I can't see anyone.
Yeah, actually, many people are in their offices and also many have just listening. They can't open their video. So, Mataji, so tell us something like some amazing pastimes of Gurudev which you witnessed and you feel like This is really beyond this world, like that. You experience such things?
Yeah, it's a couple of things that happened, but before then, there's a couple of other things maybe I could speak about. It's Gurudev, how Gurudev is so powerful and he can act in ways that make you act and carry out his instructions. Like, for example, well, first of all, so 94, after we finished touring with him and we flew back to London, and what was happening in there, I was saying to you that everybody, everywhere I went, every single temple, it was me who had to cook. So on the last day, we were in Barcelona. And before we got to Barcelona, we were in some temple in a farm, and we had to fly from there to go to Barcelona. And Madhavananda, I didn't have any transport to get to the airport. So Madhavananda asked Gurudev if when they go to the airport, we could come in the same car with him. And Gurudev said yes. So we went in the same car with Gurudev and we went to this airport. And when we got to the airport, and there was no wheelchair for Gurudev, and Gurudev was, can't stand, he needs to sit. So nobody, Madhavananda didn't know what to do. So I went up and I asked I saw two guards, to these people like who patrol around the airport, security people. I showed them Gurudev's ticket and I asked them what we do. And then this two people asked to see Gurudev's ticket. When they look at Gurudev's ticket, they saw that Gurudev was at the wrong airport. He should be in a domestic airport, not the international airport. So they had to go somewhere else to get that sorted. So thankfully, and they give us a wheelchair for Gurudev. So thanks for that intervention that we got Gurudev's ticket changed to domestic, and then we had to go to another part of that place to get a flight to Barcelona. And then Madhavananda said when they got on the flight, Gurudev asked him, where were we? Well, we had already got our own tickets for different flight. So, and Gurudev had to get a different flight. So anyway, we got to Barcelona. When we spent a week there again, there was nobody to cook for Gurudev. I had to cook for Gurudev. So that, Barcelona has a famous beach. So I thought I got this little child with me. At the end of the last day, I thought somebody else said they would cook for Gurudev. So I said, great, you cook for Gurudev. I'm going to go to the beach with Priya. And then the next day, when it came to that day, the person who was going to cook for Gurudev said, so Mari Mataji, sorry, I can't cook for Gurudev. Please, you do it. So I thought, all right, great. Okay. Well, what can I do? I can't say, no, I'm going to the beach. So then I ended up cooking for Gurudev as well. And then that afternoon, we flew back to London and Gurudev came later. And Gurudev was going to give a program that evening. But what happened is that on the flight, coming, when they reached London, there was no wheelchair for Gurudev. And Gurudev was delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. So the program was cancelled. The next day, I went to Nawadip's house to see Gurudev because he was flying back to India that day in the afternoon. So I went in the morning to see him. It was just me, Akinchana, Madhavananda, Priya, and maybe one other devotee or two. Navdeep had gone to work, and his father was filming. I think that film is on YouTube somewhere. And so when Gurudev was coming down the stairs, as we were there, because I didn't want to go, I said, Madhavananda, there's no point coming there. Gurudev is now giving class. He goes, no, you should come. If you want to come, please come. Gurudev will be happy. So when I went, and I was standing at the bottom of the stairs on the way back, and Gurudev is coming down, we wanted to pay our businesses. Gurudev raised his stick at me and he said, Nalini, I'm going to beat you. Run up, and I said, bow my head, and I said, yes, Gurudev. And he walked down, came down, and then as he sat down, he said, I was thinking yesterday, I had so much difficulties. And if Nalini was there, this wouldn't happen, that wouldn't happen, this, because I guess he thought me living outside, I'm not afraid to talk to authorities in the temple, in the airport or anything like that. And he saw that I intervened in Barcelona and sorted that issue out, where he was at the wrong airport and no wheelchair and stuff like that, just by asking some questions. But I guess that comes from when you live outside, you're used to dealing with people. So, you know, he probably felt I would have been able to sort that out. Bless could have felt like that. So he said, oh, I really suffered. And I was thinking if you were there all the time, I was thinking if you're there that I wouldn't have suffered because I cannot walk. This foot is so bad. I cannot walk and I had to walk so far because without a wheelchair, walking from the airline to the passport place is far. It's really, 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 really far. Ordinarily is far, much as somebody who has got injured leg. So I said, okay, Gurudev, from now on, I'm going to find out when your trip is in Europe, and I will come with you to every place. And that's what I did from 9 to 5. I also did like that. I took my time and went with Gurudev everywhere and followed him everywhere. And again, I had to be the one who cooked because there was nobody arranged. I don't know how, I don't know why that happened, but it happened. So then Gurudev told us that day, was just a few of us. He told us, give us a beautiful class, even though it was just a few of us, give us beautiful class about Balaram and how we have to get Balaram's mercy before we can celebrate Janmashtami, and how Balaram does the cleaning of our heart, you know, Karshana, you know, he cleanses our heart, then only we can celebrate Janmashtami. Beautiful, beautiful class. So then I asked Gurudev, coming on to the story of Gurudev's amazing power, I asked Gurudev if I could move house because we're living quite far away from the temple and, you know, we have no association, we can't go to the festivals, and there's so much going on at the temple. You got festivals, you got the morning program, you got the devotees association, everything is happening there, and we are living so far away. And Gurudev wrote back and he said, no, where you are now, stay right there. And I was so upset. I was thinking, why Gurudev doesn't understand? I put his letter down. I think Gurudev really doesn't understand me. Where is his compassion? We need to be near the temple so we can have some, you know, association and go temple and so on. Anyway, Gurudev was adamant, no, you don't move, you stay right there. He said, you have one car and the roads are good. And if you want to go to the temple, you can go and come back. So anyway, when I saw him, when he came to London, asked him again when he came or when I went, I can't remember how the story was. Well, anyway, the story went on for a little while, me asking him and he saying no. And then me asking him again and he'd say no. And then he said, when I was in India, I said to him, so Gurudev, where my basis is, went in to see him. I said, so Gurudev, you don't want me to move? And he goes, no, why do you want to move? And he said like that. So I went up to my room and I wrote him a letter and I apologized. And I said, Gurudev, I'm so sorry that I'm challenging your instruction. And, you know, I wrote him a long letter, I still got a copy. And then he told Janeshwar to tell me, tell her to move if she wants to move. And I thought, what? I just surrendered to your instruction and then you're telling me to move. So anyway, I came back to London. I thought, okay, well, Gurudev has probably decided it's okay. So let me look for a house and let me look for a job. And I spent 6 months looking for a job and a house near the manor. And I could not find a house. I could not find a job. It was just ridiculous. Really, I looked and looked and looked. And usually it's so easy to pick up a job in my field of work. And so when Gurudev came to London and he gave darshan, as soon as he finished his darshan, I was sitting in the room at the manor. He said, so Nalini, did you move? I said, no, Gurudev. By your arrangement, I couldn't find a job and I couldn't find a house. And he laughed and he laughed and he laughed and he said, yes, you don't move. Stay right where you are. Don't move. So that was one experience for me to show how, you know, Gurudev was able to, it's like play games with his disciples and say they're being stubborn. Let's show them that, this instruction, is not going to, this instruction can't be, um, something that you should ignore. You have to do it. But I could not work out why Gurudev didn't want me to move until he left, to be honest. So that was one example. Another example was when in 95 we went to India, and I found out that Radha Gopinath's temple Radha Gopinath was going to be installed on such and such a date near Ram Navami time. And the temple, they told me at the Bhubaneswar temple when it was going to be the installation. So we went for that. And when we went in to see Gurudev, first thing Gurudev would ask us is, so how long are you staying for? And we told him we're staying for such and such day. He goes, oh, you're not staying for Radha Gopinath's installation. And I said, no, because we booked our tickets and we don't have the flight. And he said, but I said, we were told this date's not going to be installed. We didn't know that it changed. And he said, okay. So I tried to change my ticket several times. I tried to change my ticket. The phone booth was outside temple. And I tried to change my ticket, tried to change my ticket. Every day I was phoning the airline. And the airline said, no, we're sorry, there's no space. You cannot change your ticket because we have no way of you getting another flight at another time that you want. So I was being disappointed everywhere. In the end, I had to accept it that I'm not going to get a flight. So when I was leaving India, I told Gurudev's servant, Navakishore Prabhu, I said, please tell Gurudev we are leaving now. We're going to get a flight. We couldn't change our flight or whatever. I don't remember what he told. So he went and he told Gurudev, and he came back out and he said, Gurudev said, which airport are you leaving from? And I thought, well, why does it matter which airport I'm leaving from? So I said, oh, we're leaving from Delhi. So he went back and told Gurudev Delhi. So anyway, we caught the train and we went to Delhi. And when we got to Delhi, we went to the airlines. And I just thought, oh, I know they don't have any they don't have any tickets for the flight that we want the following week. But let me just ask. I just thought I'll ask, and I asked them. I said, by the way, do you have any tickets for next week? Because I would like to go next week instead of today or whatever it was. They said, oh yeah, we just happen to have 2 seats available next week. You can go next flight. I was just so stunned. I've been phoning for 3 weeks. And they say, no. And the minute Gurudev intervened, 2 seats became available. And then I realized that's why Gurudev was asking, where are you leaving from? Because what did it matter if I was leaving from Kolkata or Delhi or wherever? It didn't matter, did it? But Gurudev did something there, I'm sure. So then we just get a train and we came straight back for Radha Gopinath's installation. So that's 2 things that Gurudev intervened in. It's so many things Gurudev intervened in our lives.
Yes, true. Beautiful story, Mataji.
Sorry?
Beautiful. These pastimes are very beautiful. Gurudev can make it happen.
Yes, definitely. I've been listening to some podcasts of some devotees. It's so beautiful hearing about how Gurudev directly intervenes and he can stop something and make something happen. He can stop something happening and he can make something. He stopped me from moving from this house. He stopped me, made us come back for Gopinath. He made me kind of go to Bhubaneswar. That trip, I'm absolutely sure he arranged the whole thing. It was just too coincidental. Everything was so coincidental. So meeting him was just, I don't know. I was enjoying ISKCON. I was enjoying going to the classes and going to the kirtan and having a prasad and having devotees association. But I had no intention of surrendering to spiritual life, like Guru and the rest of it. I had no intention of them. It's not for me. I'm going to be bored. That's what I thought. And I'm enjoying my life. So I don't need to go anymore. That's it. I'm having a good time. And yeah, he knows who's candidate for more, you know,
Yes,
mercy, and who is, who needs, a good, you know, spiritual
yes,
slap around the face.
yes, true.
Yeah.
So have you also got some mercy in terms of chastisement from Srila Gurudev?
Oh, good Lord, yes, many times. I told you that in Birmingham, in the middle of the road, and he's sitting in his car. All the devotees are around, and he said, "Go back to London. Yes, go, get out, go back to London." Oh, so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed, because he shouted at me in front of everyone. I was really, really embarrassed. He shouted at me quite a few times. I mean, like, not just then. He shouted at me when he said I didn't come back on the same flight with him, and then because of that, my house was no good and I was no good. Many times Guru chastised, but I don't know. I never took his chastisements. That time in Birmingham, I was upset, but that got rectified within a few hours after I prayed to Gornitai, turned around. Gornitai just turned it completely around, softened my heart, and made me feel I just want to be with Gurudev. And so I didn't feel bad about it. Whenever Gurudev chastised me, I never felt bad in terms of, oh, for God's sake, he's horrible, he's chastising me or anything like that. I didn't feel like that. I just felt whatever Gurudev told me was for my good. Even before I got to be his disciple, he was giving me instructions. Well, at that time he made me come to Bhubaneswar, but also other times he gave me very, very personal instructions, which he was not my guru, and which still I took to my heart, that if I'm going to surrender and follow this person, then I need to listen to them. I can't listen to them just myself. So, yeah, it's many chastisements.
Yeah. So when Gurudev left this planet, you was in London or here?
Yes. So what happened is because that year the Gurudev came here last 95 and he stayed here. He wasn't even invited to stay overnight here, but he said to the devotees that he will stay at Nalini. So we went and stayed with a friend down the road, and he and his servant Janeshwar and whoever was serving him, they stayed here with him. But I used to come and cook for him, and he was staying here, and then he said, what was it though? It's good to say. Yes, so it was an amazing 2 days that he stayed, and everybody who came, they felt like it was like a Vrindavan mood. It was very exciting, it was very amazing, it was very wonderful. Gurudev is here, but we were all feeling quite depressed, knowing that he's leaving tomorrow. We're all feeling kind of quite sad. And so I thought, well, what I'm going to do now in February, usually I go in February for Gopani. I'm not going to go to India for February because I'm going to build an attached toilet and shower for Gurudev in his room upstairs. And so I will do that. So when he come in summer, it's ready. So I wrote to him and I said, I'm not going to come. I didn't tell him why. I'm not going to come this Gopani. And he goes, okay, if you don't want to come to India this time, that's fine. So I was not there when Gurudev left. But if I hadn't that intention to build him something, I would have been there. And to be honest, I don't know if I could have taken it. It was just so devastating. Oh, Prabhu, I don't think that is another feeling you could feel than to hear that your Gurudev has left. And it was just so sudden. I just came in from work and I was just resting, and I got his phone call. from the devotee in Birmingham to tell me as good have left, and I shouted and screamed and shouted and screamed. Like in the poor, the poor devotee started to cry, and I was crying, and he was crying. I was crying. I banged the phone down on him. I don't know what to do with myself. I was just screaming, screaming, screaming. I just couldn't believe it. I just would not believe it. I couldn't accept it. It was just the worst possible news you can ever get in your life. And then I phoned India and Bhubaneswar, and as soon as Kalakanta Prabhu picked the phone up, and he was crying as well, and he was saying to me, Mataji, good have left. And that's all I didn't want to hear that confirmation, but you know, they all confirmed it. So then what to do? So then I thought, oh my God, what to do, what to do? I have to go to India, I have to go to India. So I phoned somebody from work to tell them that I'm going to have to go. My father passed away and I have to go. That's how I put it, even though it was nighttime. And then I found the Indian embassy, and thankfully, on those days, on a Saturday morning, because this was a Friday night, Gurudev, and and I had just received a letter from Gurudev 4 days before. Gurudev sent a letter to me on the 4th of February, and he left on the 9th. And I phoned the embassy, and they said, yes, we are given visas tomorrow morning between 9 and 12. You can come then. So thank God for that. Now they don't have that. I don't know what you do in an emergency situation. So I went to there, presented my visa, and usually you have to give them everything, and then you have to come back. So I had to book a flight, I had to get my visa, and while in between doing that, I went and sat at Soul Street Temple, and Soul Street Temple, I was just sitting there while Mataji was giving class, and I was just crying and crying. I was sitting right at the back, and I was crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. I couldn't stop crying. And then she must have noticed, even though I was sitting far, far away, and there's so many devotees, and she must have noticed, because as I got up to leave, she said to me, Mataji, wait a minute. Somebody is going to give you some Mangalati sweets. I said to her, it's okay. I have to go, because I was going to go to pick my visa up now and my ticket. Anyway, she said, go to that side door, not this door that I was going out. Go on that side door, and then he's going to give you some Mahaprasad. I said, okay, thank you. So I went as she instructed. I went there. As I walked out that door, it was like, I didn't know what to do. I saw Murli Krishna Swami now, Murli Krishna coming down the stairs from the ashram, and there, and he and I, oh my God, and then I was so glad to have somebody to talk to about Gurudev, so I started to talk to him, and he said he was going to the airport, he was going to go meet with Dina Sham, and they're flying to India. So I said, yes, I'm coming tomorrow. And he saw the state I was in and everything, and he went and told Dina Shams later on in the night. Dina Sham was calling me on a pay phone and talking. He said, Murli Krishna said you're in a terrible state, and I just wanted to talk to you and give you some support. And we are all feeling the same way. We cannot believe it. We're in so much shock and everything like that. So anyway, I went up, got my passport, my visa, got my ticket, and the following day we flew out to India for that thing. But it was devastating. I was so devastated just to see Gurudev's hut demolished and his samadhi. I mean, that's where we used to go in and pay our dandavat and see Gurudev when we come in, and to see that. I never agreed with that. I never agreed that that's where Gurudev should have been placed. I wish that they had just kept that, because there would have been that hut would have been one, place of solace for us. And to put samadhi opposite or something like that. Anyway, the whole period of Gurudev leaving was very traumatic, to say the least. And we were just kind of, traumatized. But the double trauma came when all of a sudden the same day Gurudev left and we hardly knew it, I just started hearing God's brothers saying that they're going off somewhere else. And I'm thinking, what's this somewhere else? And then when I came back here, they're all calling and coming and visiting us and telling us they're going off to another person outside of ISKCON, and we should all come, and why, and so much going on. We're trying to deal with his grief, and we're feeling so sad and so upset, and still not even able to accept that Gurudev is gone and we're not going to see him. And this is one group of devotees already left Gurudev before he's even in Samadhi and want to go off somewhere else. And it kind of seemed for us to do the same and kind of getting angry and upset because we won't follow that, you know. I just couldn't understand it. We're not in the mood. You want to go, fine, that's fine. Just do that, but please. But so it was like a double whammy because all the God brothers I was looking up to and wanting support from and help from to deal with this trauma and this grief, they're just gone. Not only we didn't have Gurudev, we didn't have the God family support, all gone, and canvassing for you to join them. And then you're not nice if you haven't joined, and people saying, oh, well, you don't love them. Well, we have nothing against what they're doing, but why do they have to tell us that we are bad because we won't join them? Well, it's nothing to do with that Maharaj, nothing to do with that mat. We pay our Dandavat Param to Maharaj, and to that mat, we still give donations and support them and go to mat, but we don't want to leave Gurudev or Prabhupada and ISKCON. We don't want to do that. So please, you know, there's this big, huge propaganda going on. And up to this date now, till like Gurudev used to say, if they want to make propaganda, why they put in Prabhupada on their leaflet and saying, attracting people to come to their mat. What they should do is put their photo. And up to now in London, I heard that that's what they're doing with Gurudev now. Gurudev said his heart was bleeding when he saw that happen to Prabhupada. Now they're putting Gurudev's photo on their leaflet, books and whatever, and advertising their you know, programs and their center and their gurus outside of ISKCON. So Gurudev said he came and he's preaching, and he's sick, but he's going around the world preaching because he wants to show everybody, he wants to keep their mouths shut. Who said Prabhupada, when he give ABC, he wants to stop them from leaving, and he wants to show them how everything is in Prabhupada's books and and everything is in ISKCON. They don't need to leave. So that not only they left Gurudev, they're using Gurudev and using Prabhupada and using ISKCON as their platform for their own projects. So that was really upsetting, and is still upsetting, because, you know, they can go around the whole world to all these different places and collect fallen conditioned souls. Why take from Gurudev and Prabhupada and ISKCON? And I saw them in Bhubaneswar giving out their new Guru's books. I saw them in Mayapur, just outside Radha Madhava temple, giving out their books and leaflets everywhere, and in London also. You know, so it's not nice, it's sad, because this is exactly what Gurudev said was giving pain to his heart. So you want to leave. So at that time, I was feeling really sad and depressed. So then Gurudev was dreaming me. I was dreaming Gurudev a lot, because Gurudev could see that those who were really tormenting was needing some help. And then this amazing thing happened. It's like Gurudev was telling me not to worry, because those who leave, and I could see that when I was traveling around in Europe, wherever Gurudev was, like in 95, I was in Toulouse, and Gurudev told Janeshwar, I was cooking for him, and he told Janeshwar, tell Nalini to come, because he was given initiation. He said, tell Nalini to come for Brahmin initiation. I said, oh, well, now? He said, yes. I said, okay, let me get somebody to come and cook for Gurudev. And there was like 150, I don't know, quite a lot of devotees there. And I asked who could come and cook for Gurudev so I could go and take Brahmin. Nobody wanted to come cook for Gurudev. No, not one wanted to come cook for Gurudev. And I saw during the whole time that was the way, you know. There were no nice garlands, there were no nice boga offerings. We were in a foreign country, we didn't have that much money, we didn't have a car, I was with a young child. I had to go to the shops to get the purchases. I had to make the gardens. I had to do this. I had to do that, everything. The times I saw the devotees come was when Gurudev is finished eating and Mahaprasad is ready. But I didn't mind because I was having a wonderful time. I actually loved serving Gurudev. And the more favor you could give me for the Gurudev, the better it is. I would just, take it all for myself. Just do it all. I want to do it all. I don't care. I was happy. So then and a lot of those people who left, and I remember Gurudev saying to me in a dream, and he said it my internal class, when you leave a bona fide guru, means Krishna's already asked them to leave. You cannot surrender to a guru and then take all that he's given you, and then you reject that guru. It means Krishna already asked them to leave. So then I started to become slowly pacified, but then I had an amazing dream. I showed you the bed Gurudev stays on. And next to the bed, he always used to bring a photo of Radha Gopal Ju, and he used to place that photo next to his head on that table. So when he was not here, I also make a photo of Radha Gopal Ju. I got many photos of Radha Gopal Ju, but a small one, put it in a frame and put it next to his head and put a photo. I got a photo of him when he was in that bed, and I put that photo in a frame on the bed. So it was his photo there and Gopal Ju's photo next to thing. And that day, for a few days, I used to go and stay with a friend near the manor so I could go to classes and programs and stuff, and then I would come back. So I was staying with a friend, and I was lying on her floor in the living room because she had other guests. And me and Priya was lying on her floor and sleeping there. And then I dreamt that Gurudev was giving class here, and all the devotees were here. And I went upstairs and I went into his room to pay obeisances to Gopal. And as I paid obeisances to Gopal, Gopal jumped out of the photo and he started jumping across Gurudev's bed, hopping backwards and forwards. So I kind of went to touch his feet. And every time I went to touch his feet, he jumped back. And every time I touch his feet, he jumped back. And this happened 3-4 times. He jumping up and down, jumping up and down. And then he said, your deities are nice. And then next thing I know is Gurudev is walking with his devotees, as he usually do after class. He's walking up the stairs and he's going to his room, and the devotees are coming with him. And the devotees are coming with him, and then suddenly there's a glass door between two rooms, Gurudev's room and the other room, and Gurudev is coming from that room, and Gopal jumped off the bed and he went right back onto that room. He 1 minute he was jumping, going behind Gurudev. Next minute he jumped on a wheelchair and wheeled himself towards Gurudev. And then 3 times he took the dust from Gurudev's feet and put it to his head. 3 times. Jump, 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 jump like that. And then I thought, oh wow, Gopal is taking the dust from Gurudev's feet and putting it on his head 3 times. And then all of a sudden, Gopal said to me, oh, there was a Mataji who was staying where I was staying there. And as if to let me know that this was not just a make-up dream that I'm imagining or something like that. He said this Mataji who was staying in this friend's house where I was staying that night, she had the most beautiful black marble Krishna deity, just Krishna on his own playing the flute. And I used to see that deity, and I used to think, she's not looking after this deity. She's just going to temple all the time, and she's not looking after this deity. But I love this deity so much. And then Gopal said, he called her name, and he said to me, Divya Leela's deity is quite beautiful or lovely or something like that. And I was thinking, wow. I got up and I couldn't really fathom what Gopal was telling me. And then I was thinking, Gopal is glorifying Gurudev. All my anxiety about everybody going off to somebody else because they're better than Gurudev. This acharya, that acharya, going off to this guru, that guru, going here, going there, going there. And it's as if Guru Gopal wanted to say, don't worry, this Gurudev, he's bona fide, he's glorifying Gurudev and Gurudev is glorifying him. Amazing. So when I came back home, I didn't tell anybody. When I came back home, I rang Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu then, and I told him what I dreamt. And he said, other people have also had that dream. It's like so much turmoil is going on and so much disturbances with everybody going off here, there, and everywhere. Is like, Krishna is seeing how this distress and turmoil is affecting us, and he's just putting it straight. And he's and then we read about Krishna taking the dust from his pure devotees' feet on his head to purify the whole world. So this is Gurudev glorifying Gopal. And we read in Gopalji's book that Gurudev is chasing Gopal round and round the temple because he stole his jewel. So that was an amazing experience, an amazing dream that really helped, to be honest. It helped because not that we had shaken faith in Gurudev whatsoever. No shaken faith in Gurudev. I was not shaken my faith. Many had told me, come to this guru, come to that guru, come and listen to class. Gurudev said, sadhu sangat, come and listen. Come. I was not able to deal with the grief, that overwhelming grief. How I can go and listen to other classes. It was not, it was difficult.
Yeah, true, Mataji. Maybe devotees will ask some question and
Yeah, sure. Yes, I've talked enough.
no. Anyone who has any question, please, you can raise your hand, ask question. There is one question here. One Mataji, Madhurya Rasami Mataji wanted to ask. Could you please ask Mataji what else he cooked for Gurudev and what all Gurudev liked?
Well, there were things that were stable for Gurudev that you would have to do, which is dharma, rice, chapatis, karela, okra, paneer sabji. And he would tell you how to make, what to make, how to make things. There's certain things that he wouldn't eat. Like if you make the dharma, you mustn't put any carrots in it. He said, I like carrots, but not in dharma. And that everything you put in the dharma must be fried first, not just plain dharma, not boiled dharma. He would not eat sweet things at night. One time in Spain or somewhere, Italy, I made this beautiful vermicelli cake, and it came back just like that, and I was so upset. I thought, oh my God, this thing looks so beautiful and so much time and effort, and Gurudev didn't even touch it. So he would never eat sweet at night. And an Ekadashi, he only ate once. And I remember one time an Ekadashi when I was somewhere and I was serving him, some other Mataji's cooked for him, and I took the thing tray to him, and he looked at it and he said to me, it was a Ekadashi, and he said to me, oh, on Ekadashi, everything is so dry. So then from then on, I learned that if you, on Ekadashi day, on Ekadashi days, you must make sure there is some soup, because you can't give dal and other things on that day. So you must at least give something that's liquidy, with liquid in it. Gurudev didn't eat hot, spicy food. And his chapatis have to be very, very soft. Anything specific about that?
Yes. Anyone have any question? Please ask. So, Mataji,
One thing I have to say is what I
yes.
realized is why Gurudev told me not to move.
Mhm.
It's two reasons. He saw the future. He saw that if I stayed near the temple when he left, then I would have given this house up, and this had now become like, his home. We kept it. I showed you the photos. We kept it like his house, and we serve him every day. And secondly, and probably most importantly, at the manor, there's so much going on with everybody going off and campaigning and canvassing at the temple and outside, just outside the temple, and Ritviks and the others and the others and the others. And they were phoning from all over there and pressurizing me and pressurizing to join them. So what would it have been like being at the manor, near the manor, and having to be in their faces all the time, pressurizing you to leave, pressurize you to go and have darshan with whoever they wanted you to have darshan with, and their programs, constant. And even now that still goes on. So I was glad that I thought that even though I'm still sad that we're not near a temple and have so much devotee association, that Gurudev foresaw that would be hellish for me to deal with. And then we can
That's
still say we have his room here, we have everything here that he wanted, and he said, don't go, don't move. So it would have been sad because we didn't expect that Gurudev would leave, that quick. I'd only met him just a few years before, altogether 4 years.
But those 4 years becomes a lifetime. It's enough for a lifetime.
Yes, well, this is
Stick to
it. I mean, like, I don't feel like I need anything more. I don't feel like I've not read all Prabhupada's books inside out. Gurudev told me at night you must read Prabhupada books every single night, and you must preach. And I haven't even got time to follow those instructions. I'm following it, but I don't feel that one lifetime is enough for me to really consolidate and understand everything Prabhupada is saying and Gurudev is saying and spiritual life is telling me and serving Gaudatai. So where am I going to go somewhere else to learn what more when I've got enough that I can't even take all that in? And every day we listen to Gurudev class, and the more I listen to the Gurudev classes, the more it feels like I didn't hear this before. I didn't hear that before. I didn't know this before. I didn't know that before. So it's ever increasing, like it says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Katha is ever increasing. Ananta Church is speaking for thousands of years, and he still hasn't finished. So who are we to finish hearing from Prabhupada and Gurudev?
Yes, true, Mataji. This is true. Anything else you want to share apart from this about Gurudev?
I just know that Gurudev is always there to support us, always there to take care, always there to look after us, and we don't have to worry. You know, we can't be complacent and think at the same time that we got the mercy, because we haven't got the mercy. We always have to think like that. We haven't got the mercy. We should pray for the mercy.
That's right. One devotee is asking about want to see the upstairs, where Gurudev's bed is. So we can play the video that you have sent me
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and show everyone that Sriniketan Prabhu, may I request him to play the video?
Prabhuji,
Yes,
yes,
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
Dandatam.
You can play the video so that everyone can watch it.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji will be playing. Yes.
Yeah. You can give the sound, Mataji explaining in the video.
It's okay. Yeah, all those cushions Gurudev's used to put his back on his back. That photo in the frame is a frame of Gurudev sitting in that bed. And he used to sit there and eat on that table. That's why I kept it. Gurudev's paraphernalia. That's Gopal there, you see, on the side there. In that picture, he jumped out of that picture and just jumped along the bed to glorify Gurudev. And this is also glorification of Shri Shri Radha Gopal Ju. His bead bag and his little bell. It's Colgate, toothbrush, soap, shaving cream, spectacles I got made in Bhubaneswar. Bead bags. Slippers, socks. And this covers old or Gurudev's. Lots of paraphernalia, sheets, quilt covers, blankets, towels. Cushions. So everything is kept. Everything that Gurudev touched, everything he used, we've kept. All those towels were used by Gurudev.
Very nice, Mataji. It's like
Bed.
Gurudev's home abroad in the
Yeah.
West.
Yeah, well, we need it, It's not like we were able to go to Bhubaneswar every month or see Gurudev come here all the time. So, living so far away. And this is going into his bathroom. He used this bathroom. So although
This
it's
is
very
this is you made later or what?
No, that was there.
The
Yeah.
plan you made for a single bathroom that you dropped.
Oh, yes, I wanted to put that in his room. I wanted to make that in his room. But
Okay, this
obviously
is outside.
there wouldn't have been enough space. So
Mhm.
it wasn't, you know.
Okay, it was dropped. So,
Yeah. But we made a bathroom downstairs afterwards. We couldn't make it upstairs, but we made one downstairs.
mm,
So then upstairs was his anyway, because we didn't stay here. When he stayed here in the night, we didn't stay here in the night because we didn't feel, because as sannyasi, we didn't want to be in the same, having only one bathroom. Now we have two, but then we only had one.
mhm. And Mataji, also Gurudev do worship of the Gornitai, your Gornitai.
Yes, yes, yes. Hey, I was looking for that photo. I have a photo when Gurudev came here with Madhavananda in 94. I said to him, before then as well, when he came in 92, I asked if he could please take darshan of Gornatai and tell me how they were. And he told me, yes, Gornatai, very happy, and you must take care of him nicely and look after him. And then when Madhavananda Madhavananda told me this. He said Gurudev went to take darshan of Gornatai again in 94, and Gurudev was like this. And he was smiling and he was laughing. And he said that Gornatai was dancing. So I was very happy that he was happy when he saw Gornatai. And they were happy to see him, obviously.
Mm. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much, Mataji, for sharing this nectarian katha, Gurudev's katha with us. And we hope in future also you will give some time and you devotees can listen from you some more Gurudev's katha.
Gurudev is taking prasad.
Yes.
Mataji was asking what we cook. She can see we cook, and we used to cut up mangoes and put it there. We may always have to make chana.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, always have to be chana. And one time I give Gurudev strawberries and cream, and he had all the cream out and left all the strawberries.
Oh, okay. Gurudev
And
never
I
used
thought,
to take strawberry.
well, the thing is a sour taste,
Okay.
and I thought, well, Gurudev, Sakshat David Samasa, Gopal likes cream, Gurudev likes cream.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. That's true. It's true. Sriniketan Prabhu, you want to add something?
I would also see these towels there on the side there. I would also
Mhm.
always give Gurudev some towels to take back with him to India. And then one time when I went to India, he had them. And somebody said to me, oh, why are you giving Gurudev so many towels? Gurudev never used these towels. But when I went to, that's my initiation thing. When I went to India, I would see Gurudev spread a towel on his chair, and
Okay.
3 of the towels he will put on his chair, and he will put one smaller one on each side, inside of the handle, and one to sit on and one on the back. So now I'm thinking, Gurudev is so humble. He wanted to show us that he reciprocates.
Yes, yes, yes.
Whatever you give him is not that he doesn't want to accept because he doesn't need it. He will find a use for it. And actually, when he left his body as well, I saw that the sheet that he was lying on, I had given him that sheet, the bed sheet that he was lying on in
Okay.
Mayapur. So he
Okay.
found use for everything you give him.
Yes, yes, yes.
There are many
Yeah.
other little stories and not little
Mm.
amazing pastime with Gurudev, but I don't know what you make of the Gopal Ju one, but that was like amazing to see how Gopal glorifies his pure devotee and not afraid to go to whoever dream and tell them that Gurudev,
Mm.
how he feels about Gurudev.
Yeah. Yes.
She
Gopal's
Radha
reciprocation. Yes.
Yeah, we need to glorify Gopal. Time to glorify Gopal as well. I
Yes.
guess Gurudev was saying, everywhere I
Hare
look, I'm seeing him.
Mm.
He said,
Yes,
everywhere
Prabhu.
Krishna Mataji, Dandak ma'am.
Hi Krishna Prabhu.
Uh, Mataji, actually amazing what you speak about Gurudev between your like connection and your like pastime. It is like very amazing. So Mataji, my one just I want to ask you some question after Gurudev disappear. So Gurudev also said many time after Guru is a disappear from this material world. From that day disciple is coming for like a darkness period coming. So after that period from long seems long time. So what is your realization how you follow the Gurudev instruction and how remembering the Gurudev pastime and how like you feeling that connection with Gurudev. Can you just explain 1 2 point?
Yeah, well, I think the dark period, to be honest with you, the dark period was just like plunge you. Gurudev used to say to us, cry for Krishna, cry for Krishna, cry for Krishna. And he would say, you don't know how to cry for Krishna. When I leave, you will know how to cry for Krishna. Oh my God, but we never thought, we never thought that would happen to us because we were enjoying so much. When you were near Gurudev, when you came to Bhubaneswar, you were near Gurudev. Oh, the feeling, the amazing feeling, the spiritual just transcendental feeling when he was here, when you were there, when he's coming, that transcendental feeling, you never think it will just be snatched away from you with a flash of a moment like that. So when Gurudev left, that plunged us into the darkness. And I think also that we had to go through that period because Krishna is also testing, this is his pure devotee and this is who he is. And are you ready to serve him now? You were enjoying him then, like Guru Bogis. Are you ready to serve him now? And being here and not being near the temple and having to listen to other people and having so much distractions in a way, unfortunately, what I did was when Gurudev left, I bought all his tapes. They were selling very cheap all Gurudev's tapes because tape industry thought maybe Gurudev is left now, nobody's gonna buy his tapes, sell them cheap. So instead of 100 rupee, 200 rupee, they were selling for like 30 rupees or something ridiculous. And I bought a whole suitcase full of Gurudev's tapes. I brought them here. And then I also went to America to Sarika. She had DVDs, and I bought £1,000 worth of all her DVDs. I brought everything here, and I took time off work. I was sick after Gurudev left. I was so sick. I think it was just the whole turmoil of Gurudev leaving like he left. I was sick. I wasn't recovering, so I was at home. The doctors kept giving me time off because they don't know what was wrong with me. I was just constantly ill. And so I watched all the videos, all the CDs, all the tapes, all the VHS. Those times there was all time VHS and CDs, and I think those things helped me a lot because if I didn't have Gurudev to listen to day and night, day and night, day and night, day and night, I would have been plunged into more depression and more sadness. My depression took the form of me being sick. I was kind of physically exhausted all the time, and the doctors didn't know what was wrong with me. I couldn't get up, I couldn't go, I couldn't do a lot of stuff. I was just constantly chronic, they call it chronic fatigue. I was constantly exhausted and tired. So that period, that 6-month period of when I went through that phase, I had Gurudev's support in the form of all his tapes and books and DVDs. And then I engaged somebody to help me to convert them to CDs and DVDs. So we started that process. And then also somehow strangely enough, I don't know how, Gurudev's tape ministry came to me. I don't understand how, but it came to me. I started doing Gurudev's tape ministry. So I started sending out and posting out all Gurudev's books, CDs, DVDs. I was buying every book the Madhavananda they were doing over there in India, and I was posting them out to everybody. And I was also, so Bhubaneswar would ship things to me, Madhavananda would ship things to me, I'd pay for them to come. And then I would advertise Gurudev's tape ministry, and I would send out stuff. So I kept myself busy. And also I would go into all the Rath Yatras and taking Gurudev. I had somebody help me make CDs, DVDs. And before then, I bought a recorder, and I would, every night, me and Priya would record hundreds of small tapes onto new tapes, and then I would buy the labels, put them on a computer, print out the labels with Gurudev's name and the title and the dates of all his things. And it was very difficult because some of the tapes and some of the VHS, they didn't correspond to, so that like when they were doing the tape recording and videoing, they would have three lectures, one lecture in three different videos. So I had to correlate what's this one, and look for the second part, look for the third part. So I had to be watching and watching and watching. And then also they didn't have titles. So then I had to give them titles like Bali Maharaj, or whatever Gurudev was speaking on, Gopanim or Prema Tattva, whatever it was. I had to listen and put the titles, put the dates, put them together and do like that. And then when CDs and DVDs came about, then we started transferring all those onto CDs and DVDs. So I had to keep buying all the equipment to do all those things. So I kept quite busy involved in those things. And if I wasn't busy involved in those things, Gurudev left, then you can either go in, I get in another way, you could run to another Maharaj, you can run to another Mat, you can run to another Guru, run here, run there, get depressed and give up and think, well, that's it now. He's gone, that's it. Not, bad luck or whatever. But thankfully, I had gotten all those CDs, even when I went to the airport, after I bought all the CDs, the lady who was doing the x-ray, she looked at me and she just laughed. And I said to her, yes, a lot of tapes, because I had bought all the tapes, everything. And same thing with America. I bought everything from Sarikand, and hers was a different, ours a VHS here, and hers was something different. So I had to pay £10 each to convert them from one system to another system before she could even ship them to me. So, that's how you have to get involved. And I don't know what gives me the impetus, what gives me the strength, what gives me the idea or anything to do those things. But the tape ministry just fell into my lap. Birmingham were doing it, but I think a lot of them went off. So, I don't know how, but it happened to just come to me. So I picked it up. I didn't say no, and I was working full time and I had a young child. So, that's how it happened. But, it's not that we stop missing Gurudev and we don't miss it intensely. We don't miss it coming to Bhubaneswar and seeing him and him coming here and we serving him. That feeling, I guess, is never going to go. We still feel sad that he's not here. But we talk to him. I talk to him. I don't act. This is good as all these things on his chair. We just bought new things for his chair for Tirabhav. And one time when I was thinking, oh, it's good as Vyas Puja, I don't know what to buy for Gurudev. And he dreamt me and he said, you can buy me some new cushions. So, Gurudev reciprocates with you. If you want to serve him, he reciprocates. When we wanted to do that project in Mayapur, he sent the help. Everybody thinks that she built this house and this and that. The money came. I didn't have that kind of money, but the money just came. I had money in terms of every month I can give this. But lump sum, huge lump sum, I didn't have. But suddenly it came. So Gurudev wanted Krishna Gopal, Krishna Balaram. If you want to serve, Gurudev was always saying, Krishna is not poor. So I don't like when I'm being glorified about Mayapur because I didn't do that. Well, I had the idea and the initiative and did some of it, but not, wholeheartedly my money.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Mataji, just last one point. So, Mataji, when Gurudev live, that time you take like a Bapu song. Now you continuing taking like a Bani song. Same time you remembering all that Bapu song when you like associate with the Srila Gurudev. So, just as a disciple, just we also trying to take the association of Guru, but somehow due to difficulty, due to our condition, so we cannot take the association like Bapu song. So can you just Mataji, can you just say something like that Bapu song is very need in disciple life?
Well, Gurudev always was asked this question. He was saying, I didn't have much association with Prabhupada. I also didn't have much association with Gurudev. I met Gurudev in 92 and I saw him briefly. He came here and I saw him briefly. Then I didn't see, 93 he came here. I didn't go to India. In 94, I saw him for initiation. In 94, I traveled with him around Europe, and I was so happy that I got a chance to travel around Europe. And good job, he chastised me, and I went. I gave the job up, and I went and traveled with him. And in 95, I traveled with him again, and I also went to India, and he came here. So twice a year, we would see him. He came here, and we went there. In between that, it was phone calls, letters, because there was no email then. I would phone him whenever I feel sad. I would phone Gurudev. Not just sad, just I want to talk to Gurudev. I would phone him. I remember one time it was Chandinatra, and I called him, and somehow he must have detected from my voice that I was probably feeling sad or lonely that I'm not there with him, and because that's another feeling you feel. Even Priya, my daughter, she would say, I miss Gurudev. And she would write to Gurudev and tell him how she misses him. And she was only like 9, and she would write to Gurudev, I miss you so much, and I hope that you're going to come soon, or we're going to come to see you. What have you been doing? Please write back to me, and it's things like that. So it's, of course, quite across the age group, this feeling of attachment to Gurudev. And Gurudev said to me, sitting outside and I'm watching Chandranatra, he said, do you know what that is? I said, no. And then he told me, for 1 hour, he told me a whole thing about Chandranatra and Krishna Balaram and how, he had a dream and everything like that. He told me. And then at the end of it, then he said to me, do you feel better now? So Guru knows what's going on for you. And I mean, who got the time to spend on the phone talking to one disciple for an hour, but he knows what we need when we need. That is why when people said to me, are you not scared of Gurudev? He shouted to you so many times. I said, no, because why don't we see the love? So back to your question about Vapu association, yes, but that Vapu association can be 1 minute. That's enough for your lifetime. I mean, that brief time with Gurudev here and there, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, was so relishable and still so relishable. I'm so happy. But there's some people who stayed with Gurudev in Bhubaneswar for years and years and years. And when Gurudev left, they left. And like I was saying, when I was cooking for Gurudev, there's nobody there who would come and assist or help, or who even give me 5 minutes to go and take Brahmin initiation. And because they want to listen to Gurudev, but we're there now. They all want to take from Gurudev and listen to everything. They don't have time to serve. So the answer is service. Service, whether Vapu or Vani. And one of the reasons I'm glad I didn't take Brahmin as well is because I like book distribution. I go on book distribution. And if I was Brahmin, I go to the temple and do service 1 day a week. Not at the moment, because I'm not well. But 1 day a week, I was doing the fruit offering. But if I was Brahmin, they would rope me into doing much more. I would have to be there early in the morning cooking. I would have to be lunchtime cooking, evening cooking. And then it means that I would have no time for book distribution, which I love to do. And Prabhupada also encouraged us to do book distribution. Gurudev encouraged me as well and said, you know, I like that. I'm happy that you're doing book distribution, and you should read and you should preach. Plus, I've got Gauranatai here. So Vapu, you can take, and then you can ask your guru, Dave, I'm not able to see you all the time and serve you like others are serving you. And Prabhupada asked his guru that question, then what can I do for you? I mean, look what Prabhupada did. He was not a brahmachari living in the mat. He had a business and a family, and he was living far, far away. But look what he did. Look at the magic he did, you know. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, and like somebody said to Gurudev, that they want to go live in Mathura or something. And Gurudev said, well, Kamsa also lived in Mathura. So don't be a mosquito to your guru. Be someone who can be useful and helpful to guru, following the instructions, imbibing the mode of guru is sadhu sangha. So if we imbibe the mode of Gurudev, and if we want to do it, Gurudev will give all intelligence and facilities and idea of how to do it. For 25 years, I did the tape ministry. I'm still doing it slowly now, but Priya, my daughter, she got married and left, so I wasn't able to continue at the pace I was doing, older and health problems and everything like that. And also the books are all now on internet, the videos, everything is on internet now. So doing the books like I used to do before for 25 years, and not so relevant. I still buy them and give them to the temples, but having to post them out to everybody, that's not necessary now. And we have the temple, Gurudev's house, Shanagati Bhavan in Mayapur. They're keeping on Madhavananda Prabhu's books there and giving out from there. So the devotees know when they go to Mayapur or they go to Vrindavan, that devotee in Vrindavan is also giving books out. So you can always find something if you want to know what your forte is. What is it? How would you like to serve Gurudev, and how you can? And if you have that desire, the intelligence will come. I don't know if that answers. And listening to the tapes,
Mataji.
constantly listening.
Thank you,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for giving so much time to us. So we hope to listen from you in future also. If you have some time, then in future also we will request you to give some more nectar on Gurudev's pastimes.
I think I've said them all. Well, they're, little.
Many questions today. More devotees will join and they will have some questions. So we can have another day also when we'll be free.
Yeah, sure, no problem. When you exhausted everybody who you need to interview.
Yes.
I don't know how many you've interviewed already.
We are not many. We interviewed Madhavananda Prabhu, Nimai Pandit Prabhu, and few more.
Oh, okay.
Titikshu Prabhu, Jayanti Sri Mataji.
Yeah.
We will be in touch with you, Mataji.
Yes, thank you very much for your time and patience. Jai Shri Gurudev. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Gurudev.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
All
Krishna.
glories to your service. All glories to your service.
All glories
Thank
to
you,
you.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Gurudev. Haribol. Vishak Sarani Prabhu's all right? You all right with the answers?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji. Very
Okay.
nice.
Hari Haribol.
We got all the answers. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Haribol.
Mataji.
It was
Okay.
I
nectar.
got all. Yes, I got all the answer, Mataji, perfectly. And Mataji, please, this is my humble request. You shower your mercy to all devotee, so that we can make our life like to mold like Gurudev teaching, Srila Gurudev teaching, and Please, Mataji, you give your mercy to all of.
You already have all the mercy. Gurudev is there. All you have to do is bow down to him and ask him, and he give the mercy, because we're getting that from him. So anything I have to give you is coming from Gurudev.
Yes, yes.
All Gurudev's mercy to all of you to fulfill your desires.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.